Welcome back to another episode of Forbidden Depths. I'm your host, Queen Frostbitten, and we're here today to get down, dirty, and sultry by staying open, educated, consensual, and safe. If you're returning, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for supporting the channel and its growth. If, of course, you're new here, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, because one taste will never be enough. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Forbidden Depths. Today, I have an amazing individual that I just found that I really, really enjoy more than I thought I enjoyed already. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you.
Hey guys, I'm Nathan Bronson. I've been in the porn business for about 7.5 years, some change.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Veteran. And let me tell you, like,
By the way, so weird being called a veteran when I still remember being like, it wasn't that long ago. So, but I guess technically I am at this point.
Yeah, all the experience, all the knowledge. And like, I've been following you on Twitter for quite some time. And first of all, if you don't follow him on Twitter, make sure you do. It's at Nathan_Bronson. That's NATHAN_BRONSON. Amazing.
I do my best.
So I want to know how you became Nathan Bronson. What was your inspiration? Like, where did you come from? Was it something that you were just like, oh, well, that'd be something that's kind of cool? Did you have like a connection?
The name, or to get into the business?
The business itself.
Okay. Basically how I got in was I moved to LA to become a stuntman.
Oh, cool.
And I was a head chef of a kitchen when I was down here. I was working 12 to 14 hours a day, going straight from working in the kitchen straight to a parkour gym to do parkour. And I was doing that almost every day. Get back home, wake up early, go to the kitchen, just do day in, day out. And I was just doing like work until I got a job at Universal Studios doing the Fireburns. I got lit on fire there. And what ended up happening with that was at the same time I had to get out of the kitchen because it was just like the stunt work was there, but it wasn't making nearly as much money. But I had to leave the kitchen because I couldn't give them my full availability. And so me and my ex at the time were swingers. And so she's like, why don't you try getting into porn? I'm like, oh, let's see. It took me fucking months and months and months to try and figure out how to do this. I got with this one company that, funny enough, Isaiah Max was.
No.
Good looking black dude. He was actually one of the agents there at the time. I talked to them for a little.
Okay.
Yeah, Google. Solid black performer, nicest guy ever. But got with that company and they didn't find me shit for work. And so I waited a while, ended up being at a CrossFit gym, training there and cleaning up just to be able to work out there. And one of the owners was like, hey, you said you were trying to get into porn, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that girl over there is actually in porn. May want to talk to her. Happened to talk to her for a second. She just got with a new agency that Kendra Lust just started called Society 15. So talked to the agents. They're like, we only have so many guys. We'd love some new young looking guys. Got with them. I had to shave cut all my hair off because I had really long hair, and cut my beard off. And then from there, I started shooting, but it was just so fucking little shoot. It took me almost 2 years to get any kind of traction. Then I started shooting for Team Skeet with a director named Andrew. And I did my first scene with that, kind of blew up, and I started working with them. And so Team Skeet was one of the reasons that my name got out there a little bit more. But it wasn't really till fucking after quarantine where I started shooting every fucking day. Right. And that was a mixture of a handful of things. One, a lot of guys left. A lot of people weren't coming back. I didn't give a fuck because I was like, I need money. And so I was taking like every shoot I could. I started doing all these VR scenes. I started shooting I did from July to Christmas over 200 scenes. So
Nice.
yeah, I was working doubles, triples, and that's like the 200 scenes is the ones that like were paid. It wasn't included the
Yeah.
content, was included this, was including that. So it was like I was shooting a fucking lot.
Right.
So that's how that really started, because it was for a handful of years I was barely breaking even on anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's fucking crazy. Let's go back to the stuntman shit. Like, how did what happened there? Were you just like always a fucking badass and you're like, yeah, that's what I want to do?
Stunts was I remember the first time I even thought about doing stunts was I was 19. I was homeless. I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I was over at my buddy's house watching a movie called Death Proof. Death Proof was a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was a double feature, or a grindhouse movie. There was two movies to it.
Right.
One was like zombie apocalypse. The other one was this other movie about a serial killer that was trying to kill people with his car. In this movie, they kind of go off these two women get off a movie set in, like, I think it might have been Kentucky or Arkansas or something like that. And they're filming out there, and their friend from New Zealand comes over, and they go get a car to try it out, because there's a lot of people building muscle cars out there, and they start driving it around, and this guy starts attacking him with his car. And it was the first time that I realized I could do stunts for a living. So I saw that, found out how to try to start going that route. I went to this thing called a stunt school that was up in Washington, which isn't really a school. It's just a place that kind of gives you a brief indicator of like all the stunts you could learn how to do.
Like Cliff Note kind of thing.
Yeah. And then I pretty much, like I ended up getting in a band after I came back, because I had a DUI. So I wasn't able to go out to LA. So the stunt thing got put on hold for a long time, until I finally moved to LA, and I was trying to get that job, which was like years later. And then it was just pretty much porn was on and off, trying to get into stunt work and trying to get into porn. There was time where I was dating two girls in the porn business. And so that pretty much destroyed the whole idea of doing stunts, because that polyamory takes up so much time. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
100%. So
100%.
was that like a dabble thing, or is that kind of you as an individual?
No, I was just a crazy person growing up. Stunts is actually a thing that makes you less crazy, because you have to like plan things out, because you're trying not to die.
Right, more disciplined.
Being a crazy, like I used to go to concerts, just fight people. That's just what I did. I just go in the mosh pit. Sue wanted to go, and let's just do this.
Right.
Stunts has kind of made me have to kind of think about what I do in the long term, because like you're trying to be able to do one specific move maybe 48 times.
Right.
And like I had to jump out of a window one time straight to concrete, like dive out of it, hit the concrete, roll over. And that I did it 48 times one time, because I didn't know how to tell the director he couldn't get any more shots. And that fucked my shoulder up. But you need to know how to fall really well, or else you're going to break your stuff.
For damn sure.
Yeah.
For damn sure. So is that why you like stay so, I guess, conscious about your physical being? Because I've noticed that you stay in damn good shape. Like your shit's hot as fuck. So I want to know, is that the inspiration for it, or is it just like a health kick kind of thing?
There's a handful of inspirations for that. One, it's because I want to keep my body in good enough shape to be able to do the crazy shit I want way later. I'm in 34 right now. My body should be breaking down. At least I see people my same age that fat, that gross. It just happens. So one of the reasons is to be able to do this stuff for as long as humanly possible. Another reason that's probably less known is I want that kind of reaction from the female talent that I have to work with. Because you got to understand that I've seen girls walk in and with very well-known age, like older male performers, and they just look at them like this, like they're bummed they have to work with them.
Yeah.
I've seen girls look at me that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to like, if this is all the girls in the industry, I'm only going to succeed with this many, right? Because I'm trying to look as good as possible for as many people, so I can just take away the variables. Because if you come to set and you look at me like a fat piece of shit, and that just turns you off, it's like, I'm just trying to make you have a nice time. And so many people put up walls in this industry. It makes it a little bit difficult to break through. But at least if I look good and you're like this,
that can help with the chemistry too, right? Like a first impression kind of thing.
But I mean, I've had so many different experiences in this job where you just can't fix it. You know, you can't break a person of what you want to do, because you're trying to get into their psyche enough to make them just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that doesn't work every day.
Yeah. I completely get it.
As a dominatrix, you probably understand breaking into someone's psyche and just trying to let them be loose and be in that moment.
And that's one of the hardest fucking things that you can do with most people, because they've kind of taught themselves, I have to be this person, or I have to look like this, or I have to act like this. And you're like, can you just relax and just be present in the moment?
Yeah.
And that's fucking hard. Like
it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. So whenever you got into kind of the porn industry, was it one of those things you were like, yeah, I want to be successful in this because I love the work? Or was it more the money kind of aspect? Because I know you've been grinding your ass off to get where you are.
Funny enough, I wanted to do this for about a year and get the fuck out.
Oh, what?
7 years down the line. Because although it can be fun some days, and like let's go with my first opinion on the job. Like I wanted to do it, but I never thought of myself as a porn person.
Right.
I never thought of myself with a handlebar mustache, coming out in the robe, like, who's ready to suck this cock, It's just like, this is not the way I thought about things. I wanted to experience a lot of things in this job, which you realize as a male performer, you get 4 positions and you got to hold that shit for a long time. This job was basically a great way of learning how to be able to have an erection in very uncomfortable places for a very long time. Sexual freedom, sexual enjoyment isn't always the case.
Right.
Now, having said that, I have worked with some of the most badass bitches in this job who, like, if I wasn't as numb to it as possible, they would have just made me come 12 times in 5 seconds. These girls are fucking, well, let me phrase it. Some of these girls are insane. I did a VR scene with Riley Reid and Adriana Chechik one time. I almost bit my fucking tongue off.
Yeah.
Just trying not to come. These girls are immaculate. Trying to go have sex with normal people after this is just
yeah. Well,
let me phrase that. Normal people who don't want to take
you.
What was that?
It's kind of like you take pride in yourself because you are the product, right? They do too. I mean, not obviously there are different levels. Yeah. There are different levels. And some people are like, well, I take care of myself only this far because I only want this much, and then other people are like, nah, bitch, this is my fucking temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like some people you get that reaction from, some people you don't. Yeah. So, what was I getting on? Oh, hold on for 1 second. I gotta shut this door.
Okay.
Fuck you, leaf blower. What was the question before?
We were talking about you fucking hotties and trying not to come, and
but so no, but the question before that, there was something before that I was trying to make a point to. My ADD is so bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Mine does the same thing. So we were talking about kind of how you got into porn and you lasted longer than a year because you wanted to dip out.
Oh yeah. So the one thing is, with anything I do, I want to be the best at.
Right.
And so when you're new to an industry, you have this thought that you can be, but you're only the best for a second. And even when you're the best at it, that's like, let's say I made a feature movie where I was in and I did a fucking amazing job. The acting was amazing, but I did that January. It gets an award the next January. And by that point, you're not the best because people are already filming all these things.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be something better, bigger, this, that. And so there was never a point where it was, you realize after a while where you're ever going to be the best at it. You can put a mark on it, but also the problem with this job is no one gives a fuck. Because there's so much content out there. There's so many videos. There's so many of this. There's like, you will never make a mark in this industry. I mean, like even some of the people that really well, the old school performers that are like put their mark on the industry, still, when new people around, they may not know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much crap out there. You just don't know. When it's free tube sites, it's just people just fucking, diarrhea shitting out footage.
Yeah.
So it becomes that being the issue. So there's never a point where you're going to be the best at whatever you do. You might get an award, but even with an award, it doesn't help your pay. It doesn't do anything. So it's like one of the things I've kind of taken a back step at, because I always wanted to get an award. I wanted to go on that stage.
Right.
I wanted to get that because I wanted that feeling that this was,
yeah.
I wanted to feel like this wasn't a waste of time. But what I did realize about this job is once you hate it, that's when they give you awards.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like, you know, a lot of artists never really, nothing becomes of their work until after they die. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, because nobody cares enough, you know? And so think of it this way. If I left the industry today, just gone, in about 3 months, no one will remember my name on set.
Mm-hmm.
In a year, the only people who remember me are the fans that are watching it. So it becomes this kind of a sad thing where it's like, it's just, there's no history. There is a history, but no, there's like the only people taking note of that are these people that are like in a basement somewhere or have like fucking terabytes of fucking porn or this or that. Yeah. And I'm sure there's plenty of fucking Nathan Bronson fans out there who are just watching the shit out of me. But even then, it's weird for me because I don't see it that way. I mean, I go to work, I come home, I work out, I play with my dog. I'm just like, I'm doing normal day shit.
Right.
When I go out in the world, no one recognizes me. So it kind of works out really nicely, you know?
Yeah. So have you ever had that happen? Like anyone ever see you in person and be like, you're Nathan Bronson, like starstruck kind of situation?
The first time this ever happened was, funny enough, it was in Melbourne, Australia. I had a girl pay for me to come out there and just shoot with her for a week. And we're like, hey, let's go to a titty bar, which, by the way, go to a titty bar in Australia, they don't have dollar bills. They only have coins. So the first like paper dollar bill is a $5. So it's like you go in there, you have the fucking slam coins on the table, which is, you don't want to throw it at the girl, you know? You might get kicked out. But anyway, I'm sitting against the wall, right? There's a little aisleway, then there's the stage. So all the lights are shining on the girl. So I'm in the dark. And I see a guy walk by a couple times, like, that's fucking weird. And he looks at me, he's like, Nathan? I was like, it's like my 3rd year. I'm like, how the fuck do you know me, bro? Did you just get done jacking off? It's like, they don't show my face for a terribly long time. So that was the first time it happened. Every other time it's happened has not been that up front. It's been, I was in a mosh pit at a Rammstein concert, and this big old Russian dude, me and him fucking smash into each other. And the second time he comes around, I'm like, all right, let's go. And he's like, I watch your movies. So there was that one. I went to my ex-girlfriend's like friend's house party one time, and this fucking annoying kid is just talking my ear off and getting drunker and drunker. Then at one point he's like, yeah, I've been jerking off to you since I was 15. I was like, God, don't fucking say that, bro. I don't know. The problem as being a male performer is people don't want to say they jerked off to you. Women won't say it unless it's online. And they'll say it in a lot more colorful ways, like, oh my God, you're so, you know, but like, guys,
I definitely tell you I fucking jerk off to your shit. Like, have you seen your shit?
Hey, you know what? I'll send you free videos if you want. I don't give a shit. It's like, I love the idea of people masturbating to me. So if you want to film yourself masturbating to a video, I'm like,
fuck yeah. Like, and that's one of the things that, like, I wanted to start, especially being from fucking Kentucky, right? So people here, they're really not okay with anything sexual. Like, it's super taboo because Kentucky is about 10 years behind. Oh, listen. Kentucky is way fucking behind. You know, you kind of been visiting here. Yeah. Well, it's about 10 years behind every fucking thing. So if I walk down the fucking street, people are like they're going to fucking notice me, right? I don't even have to do shit just because I am tattooed, because I do look different. People are going to take notice. Like, I can remember whenever I first started porn, like, people were literally fucking like taking pictures of me and shit. And I'm like, you know, I can send you all my links. You don't have to go through all that effort, you know, but it's not very common here. I only know a couple of people in all of Kentucky that actually do sex work. One of them is a good friend that I have up in Louisville, of course, big city, you know, One is over in Lexington, which is the second biggest city. But I mean, other than that, you're not going to find many people in Kentucky that do sex work because it's not accepted. Women aren't supposed to like sex. And like, I wouldn't know what to do without sex. I know. Oh my goodness. I'm not supposed to feel good.
What church do you go to? We need to talk to your pastor.
Yeah. 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 Well, funny enough, my dad is a preacher. He didn't used to be a preacher. What? Nice. What religion?
Just Christianity. Just a fucking.
Do you have like a denomination?
See, people always ask it. I don't fucking know because they.
Yeah, I don't feed into
it. Does it.
I'm not much for religion. I'm spiritual. I'm very spiritual, but I don't do religion because I feel like religion is man-made and it's like these stipulations that you have to live by or you'll go to hell. And I don't believe in hell. I'm also like, if God didn't want it to feel so good, why does it feel so good? Like,
because if you look back far enough in religion, you look at especially Catholicism, anything that feels good is pleasure. Pleasure is a something you are doing as a humanly thing, you know, where it's like you're taken away from God because you are, fuck, I wish I remember how I say this right, but you're actually going into something that could be unpure because little bit of pleasure is fine, but overabundance is bad. That's why it's like gluttony, fucking money, all these, anything that you can take.
I need all the pleasure.
Yeah.
I need all the pleasure. Like,
I feel you. Now, there's some times where I would say all the pleasure can be a little too much in the sense of like you become numb to it.
Yes.
So that would be the sense of over pleasure. Like, let's say Molly feels great. No matter how many ways you split it, that drug will make you feel so incredibly good.
Yeah.
If you do that every day for a month, your brain is so goddamn fried, you may not come back.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of whose interview was I listening to? It was Diamond Dallas Page, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And he was talking about how after a while he couldn't enjoy sex anymore, that he had to have like crazy fucking circus shit going on like all the time. And then it got to where he just couldn't come. And then I'm just like, that's sad.
And it gets like that. It like, I mean, luckily enough, I know how to make myself come.
Right.
I know the handful of things that needed to just make it happen.
So did you train yourself to be able to like come on command?
It's not like come on command, but it's like if I'm hard and erect, I can get a pop in about 2 minutes, no matter what it is. This job just kind of shows you, it's like flex this muscle, get there, get that, so I can get it out. But I think that's like also because you kind of have to do in the same ballpark of the same thing every day. So it's just like working out a muscle, you know. Now the hard part is in this job is making yourself horny.
Yeah.
Which I know everyone's like, what do you mean? How can you not be horny to
this
person?
They expect you to be like that all the time, though.
It's like if I'm on set for 13 hours and we don't do a sex scene till the very end, and you're just trying to stay horny all the time because you're trying to keep flirtation, this going, because you're trying to make the person feel good enough. It's hard. And you do that every day. It makes it difficult. Now there's things you can supplement, you can take, you stay healthy, you stay this, you stay that. But it's just, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially as you get older and you're not as horny anymore, you're not as this, you're not as that. It makes it tough. But I mean, I see 18-year-old kids coming to this job, man. They have a tough time because it's not about your youth. It's not about this. It's being able to fucking slow down your brain enough, go tunnel vision on whatever you need to do so you can actually focus 100% on that. Because if your brain ain't there, your dick ain't going to work. I've taken 6 Viagra before and it didn't do a damn thing. Except give me the worst headache, maybe almost give me a heart attack.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Damn.
Yeah, it was, and you just get the worst tracers, just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's fucking crazy.
But you need to do something because not every day is going to be a good day in this job. Not every day is going to be a fun day. Not every day you're going to go to work like, I want to fuck that chick who just said I hate all white people.
Yeah.
Or fuck the girl that was all Zanny barred out. Realization, not going to do that ever fucking again. But like, you know, you get put in scenarios in this job but everyone's signed, everyone's consenting adults, everyone's saying agree, but you're in a place now where you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a male talent. I'm here to do the job.
Yeah. And so from the male talent aspect, are there, like, have you ever had any experiences where you were kind of in that situation where you were like, well, I'm not comfortable being here, but I feel like it's expected of me, and then you just kind of went through the
I feel
motions?
like I've what girls have raped my dick with their pussy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That happens all the time. As a newer performer as this, because you're trying to build the ability so people trust you. The only reason
Right.
you get hired in this job, if you don't have a massive cock, is if you build the trust with all these directors. The directors know that you can perform.
Yeah.
Apparently I've done better than others to get where I'm at. I'm guessing. I have no idea. But there's been plenty of times doing scenes and you can't think about what a normal person would think about in this scenario. You have to think about it in a way where it's, okay, this is not something I want to be in, but also it's a job.
Right.
It's just a job. When I was in the kitchen, there was plenty of times when I was working in places where people would talk so much shit to me, it would hurt your feelings. But at the same time, you're like, you can't let it affect you. You still got to do the job because this is the way, this is the hazing process. It's the same thing this job. There's going to be days where a director says something to you, but because you're in a vulnerable place, naked with your dick out, trying to do your best, it hurts you differently than what he's trying to say to you. He's talking to you like one of his boys, like, just talking shit. But sometimes it hits you emotionally a little bit differently and you can't take it that way. Sometimes I've been on set before with crews that I love, and they're at the time I was new to working with them. And I start working with a girl and she looks so dead to this camera, it feels gross to me. And I can't think of it as the way what it could be looked at, perceived.
Was that how it was supposed to be portrayed, or?
No, this is basically what ended up happening was the girl went through a whole day of dialogue and we got to finally the sex scene. The girl asked me something on the lines of, hey, this isn't a big company, right? I'm like, yeah, it's a big company. She basically was just wondering if this is going to be put out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
This is a third scene. And I had to explain to her, I'm like, everyone's going to see this.
Yeah.
Everyone knows going to see this, but you're going to make a lot of money. You're a very pretty girl. You're with the right agent. Everything's going to be good. And then I get into the scene and like, as soon as we start kissing, she's like this. As soon as we get into fucking. So I'm having to, and because I can't think about this in the way where it's like, it's going to make me feel bad, right? I can't think about that in that moment. I have to be and now I'm just angry though. Because I'm looking at the director, I'm like, I can't believe you put me in a scenario like this. I look at the girl, I can't believe you're fucking doing this to me, because I have to now do a scene that I really don't want to do.
Yeah, that makes you feel like you're violated.
It makes me feel like I'm violating, makes me feel like I'm violating her.
Yeah.
But we have video at the beginning, we have video at the end of her saying, I love this is great, this is amazing. And she, like, at the end, she, like, you can see my face at the end of the video, which is like, oh yeah, I had an amazing time. I'm just like this.
Yeah.
But the only reason I stuck it out because I was new to this company. Not only was I new to the company, but the crew. I knew all the guys. I'm like, I'm not about to make everyone lose money.
Yeah.
Because this girl can't put on a face.
Yeah.
And that's an extreme version of what like sometimes would happen, but that does happen because people come in with a certain idea and no one explains to them. No one's going to give you an idea. You kind of have to pick and choose information from different people because you're also so worried about people giving you information that's wrong because they're jealous of where you've gotten, or they're jealous that you got more scenes than them, or this, that, what the fuck ever.
A lot of people don't do their research anyway. They just come in, like one person said something to them and they take it like it's a complete fact, and then they just fucking roll with it. You know what I mean? Like, do your fucking research. It doesn't matter if you have an agent, you still need to do your research. Like some of these agents, they're not looking out for you anyway.
Yeah.
Like they will take advantage of you. And
they will. But like also in the same fact, it's like there wasn't a lot of information up till like maybe the last 6 years because there was no podcast, there was no nothing. There was
nobody talked about it either.
And like, so coming into the job, I thought that would be a lot of cool friends, that I could meet people and this, that. Then you realize slowly as male talent, I don't trust any of these fucking people.
Yeah. I
don't trust the girls. I don't trust the guys. Yeah. There's very few people I hang around in this job because of if you're doing better, like let's just say the girl side, right? Most girls come in very young and very much maybe from a broken home or from this or from that, whatever the reason get into this kind of job.
Some kind of trauma, maybe association.
Some kind of trauma, something like that. And this job also breeds mental disability. A lot of people come in with this job for mental disability because it's something they can do quicker. They don't have to be around as many people. They only make this much money, small amount of time, blah. So usually it's people are good with using people a little bit more. And also because the job is like, let's just say, for example, girls that come in from stripping, they're very good at using people to get the money. You know, that's kind of what this job is. We're using people. Not only that, but you're in LA. LA is a place that it's like, I'm going to say yes to this until the next person who's given me a better offer. And so this is kind of the screening ground of like distrust.
Stepping stones. Yeah.
Stepping stones, distrust, whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
And also with the male talent, there are solid male talents on there. These are all guys that, like, especially the ones you see a lot, these guys have proven themselves. I give a much credit to any one of these guys because they have put the dirt in. They've done the shit. They would have same stories as I have in this scenario. Having said that, don't trust any of them. There's like a handful that I like, but I just don't. I haven't found a spot where I could get a core group of people in this job where it's like, you know, you can really hold on to them and trust every one of them, because I've been proven time and time again that won't be the case, you know?
Yeah.
Because also I think that goes to the side of like, we are in such vulnerable places as guys on the screen that sometimes the machismo has to come out a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Long-winded answer to that.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I love it. So I think the biggest part is a lot of people don't look at it from like a business standpoint. And whenever you come into this, you have to, like, it's okay to look at it like, yes, I love my job. But at the end of the day, if you're not being business minded about it, there's a lot of shit that can go wrong too. Right.
Oh, just alone paperwork.
Yeah.
Like, I have a friend,
don't
Lucy
fucking trust people because they will fucking lie, especially whenever it comes to paperwork. I've had people be like, oh yeah, we can use that. You can post it. And then it was actually an ex of mine, and we had this threesome scene, and it was the first dick that he had ever sucked, first dick he had ever been around. Well, after we broke up, he was upset that I had this content, and I was like, it's mine. Like, you gave it to me, you signed the paperwork, you did all that. And he's like, well, I'd rather you take it down, because the lady that he became in a relationship with, she didn't know he was bisexual, and that hurt him because he's like, well, I don't want people to know that I suck dick. And I'm like, that's
out there, bro.
Money. That's my money.
But not only that, but if anyone's bought it, it's fucking out there.
Yeah. Yeah. But after that, I was kind of like, you know, and he was my ex. So it's like, he knew who I was. He knew what I did. He was a voluntary participant. I mean, you know, I have all the paperwork for it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was another one of those, well, I don't like this anymore, and I want you to take it down. And there's a lot of people that get into the business early, like we were talking about. I mean, most porn stars only last 6 months to a year, right?
Yep.
And then they're like, oh, well, I want to take it and erase it all. No, that's somebody's money you're fucking with.
But
That's
that
life.
But here, like, let's take it past that. You can't. It's not legal. You signed the paperwork. You got paid fucking money. So it's like, for anyone to come to think, this is why, like, on almost every set, they'll say, you understand this video, this footage will be out there forever until the internet breaks. And even when then, people might have your footage somewhere. So it's like, this is something that not a lot of people understand coming to this job. Like, if you think that you're going to shoot one porn and every one of your friends isn't going to see it, you're fucking fooling yourself. As a male talent, you can get away with that for a while. But that's just because people don't want to let you know that they masturbate. Because everyone does it. I don't give a fuck what they say, but everyone does it. So everyone's going to see what you have. So for people to come into this job with that naiveness, it's like, no, stop. Because if that's going to be an issue for you, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't. If you want to sell lingerie pictures online, just understand everyone you know may see it.
Yeah.
This is just what it is. Because okay, for example, my ex, very famous nude fetish lingerie model, kind of whatever. And she would, anytime she'd post a video that was a little more risque, that video would be taken off her OnlyFans or taken away from her thing, copied, put everywhere because she had a big enough name where people knew that people would, build it up from the views.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has to pay people a lot of money to go get that shit taken down, and it's just still not going to work because the internet's so vast and so massive that you'll never get all the footage.
And even if you take it down, they'll put it right back up.
Yeah, the upside to some of those things is if you get good enough team and you have people posting videos on Pornhub or Xvideo or something like that, you can actually go get the team to talk to those companies and take it down, but also get all the money they made for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I noticed Pornhub was fucking huge for that. Like, I noticed Pornhub was fucking huge for that. I posted something on their website and then I ended up posting it on X Hamster like a year later. And I completely forgot that I was I had checked that I was only going to be posting my content on Pornhub. And I'd completely forgot that I had signed off on that. So the company messaged me and they're like, hey, your content is over here on this website. We're going to have legal action and all this shit. And I'm just like, okay, I completely forgot that happened. I was like, oh, I did do that. So yeah, Pornhub makes sure because they don't want to lose a fucking penny, right?
Well, also if you watch that new documentary on it, like when Pornhub got all that shit thrown at them and they, all this stuff. I don't want to pretend like I even understand that side of the business because all I know is that Pornhub stole all the footage from us and that's how they got big and that's how they made money. But at the same time, now we need them because we like the ranking system. Having said that, thank you, Pornhub, for giving me any work that you have, but it's been very few, so I don't really give a fuck. Fuck me. Yeah, even for my geek browser, it's like they don't really hire me, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what company do you like working with? I need to know the good ones. Cherry
Pimps. Great.
I'm making a list for safe companies, safe producers. I want to do an amazing thing for people that are a go-to,
For me personally, Cherry Pimps. It is a live webcam show they do in LA. Phenomenal. If you don't mind wearing a condom, it's great. I love working for them. Everyone there is respectful. It's super nice. And the nice part is I know what time I got to go in and I know what time I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So you get in there, you meet the girl, you have a little chat, you do your pictures, you do quick stuff like that. Then you get on there. First 10 minutes is you just talking, clothed. Then the second 10 minutes is her taking off her clothes and talking to the camera and all the fans. Then the last 40 minutes, me just coming in there banging the shit out of you. It's phenomenal. I got 5 minutes after at the very end. Pop, done, leave. It's great. Other directors, Mike Quasar, amazing director. He'll get you in and out about 2 hours. He's phenomenal. Don't worry about him seeming like a sourpuss. He's amazing because he hates his job. He hates his life most time, but he's really good to work with. Jackie St. James, amazing female director.
Oh yeah, I have heard she is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, she's amazing. At Atomic, the director's name is Rihanna. They are lovely people. It's a husband and wife group. They're actually coming on my cooking show tomorrow. But lovely people, amazing. Let's see. Who is it? Casey Calvert. She's really great, really good with cameras. Her and her guy do amazing work. She's got Director of the Year. I'd be remiss to not say Ricky Greenwood, even though he angers me all the time. He's a great director, has a great crew behind him, is able to make really good stuff. Let's see. Who else am I thinking of? Damien from New Sensations is amazing. Bo from, I think he actually works for his Jackie's husband, so they work together all the time now.
Okay.
Who did I work to? Jim Powers from Devils. If you want a wacky day, that's a wacky man. He's been in the industry for so long. He's the one who filmed the Daytona 500 or 500. You know what I'm talking about? It's that girl who fucked like 500 guys. Yeah, he's the one who filmed that. Crazy stories. He's been in the industry for a long time. Just a wacky human being. If you ever want a real feel of what porn industry used to be like, work on his set for Devils. let me think. Who have I just worked for? A lot of VR companies. Justin Dietrich for Bedoin. He does a bunch of different VRs. He's amazing. Works with a great crew. David also does a bunch of VR. From the same one, he works for VR Bangers, Bedoink. Well, he just got fired, so that doesn't matter. Kelly from Sex Like Real, not longer like Sex Like Real, so that's the one thing. What is the name? Igor, I think is Bang or Bedoink, another VR company, amazing. Primal Fetish. Now, long hours, and some people don't like him, but in all honesty, it's like anything that I've ever been on set with him. Any problems I've ever had about, because I know there were some complaints of sexual harassment or something like that. The only person who's ever got touched on his set is me. And it's always joking wise. I've never seen him be rude to people unless they are not understanding the thing, because he does a bunch of fetish work. Right. And so everything needs to be very specific, and he's been filming a very specific way for a very long time.
Very fixated, right?
Very fixated. So when he gets to that world, it becomes a certain thing. And some people, again, coming back from a very young perspective and learning about this, take certain things he says the wrong way, because I think anyone who comes into this job needs to have a real job before coming into it, so you can actually understand what people are like.
Oh my goodness, I have heard that from so many people. I'm just going to say that.
Go get a real job before you come here and just think that everything should be fucking handed to you. God damn it. Let's see.
And so many people want you to do the work for them, right? They think, oh, I'm the talent. That means you do all the work and I just stand here and look pretty. Nah, bitch, that ain't how it works.
It's like, learn how to act, learn how to read dialogue, learn how to memorize dialogue. Like, I could barely read when I got in this job. But you know what I got good at? Reading, because of porn scripts. Because I get 30 pages of dialogue, literally 9 o'clock at night. I got to be in set at 9 the next day, and I got to know this pretty well. Right. It's a problem sometimes. But let's see. Dude, there's so many companies I shoot for. I'm trying to remember all of them. Andrew from Team Skeet. Or no, not. I love her feet. Love her feet. Amazing director. He's Eastern European guy. Fantastic. Love working with him. Mina Wolf. She's another content creator, but she's up in Canada. She's amazing. Worked for her a couple times. Just lovely as can be. Let's see. Who else are some, there's a handful of female directors. I'm just blanking on them right now. Nope, blanking on a lot of people. And I'm sorry for everyone I missed. There's so many. I work for so many.
I did put you on the spot, though. I mean,
Francois used to be of different companies. Now he's for Penthouse. Amazing. God damn. 2 cups of coffee aren't enough, I guess.
Maybe you like me and it kind of pushed you a little so that you can't focus. See, okay, so my thing is I can get hyperfixated. The tits are fucking me up. Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah. I'll give you that one. So tell me about the pros and the cons. So I know you've kind of been pretty open about being, oh, well, this is the realness of the industry. Yep. So tell me what the pros and the cons are as compared to having the real job and being a porn star.
No problem. Okay, coming from a job where I was making $500 a week every 2 weeks, sometimes, depending on how much I was making, it's like you're not making enough, especially living in Southern California. It's just not enough to live. I can't buy land. I probably think of it this way. However much money you have to have that much land you have. No, I make a lot more. I could probably buy so much fucking land, but the problem is I'd have to be somewhere else. Living here is a lot of money. Yeah. But it's also close to the stunts and close to everything. Having said that, so I made a lot of money in this job, but because of where I live, it just doesn't really equal out. So you come to this job, you're going to make good money if you can survive. Right. So you may, as a male talent, if you can get past the first thing. So you make a lot of money, you'll get to fuck all the girls. Yeah. But there's downsides to that part. I'll go into that in a second. So you get to fuck all the girls. Right. You get a lot of money. Sometimes you'll even get to travel. I've traveled to countries that I never thought I'd go to. I've gone to England. I've gone to Paris. I've gone to Curacao, which is the island off the coast of Venezuela. I've gone to Canada. I've gone to Mexico. I've gone to New York, Portland, Arizona, fucking Vegas all the goddamn time. Fucking Australia. I was supposed to be in Taiwan right now shooting. So there's opportunities like that. You get known by a lot of people. You get people see you a lot more because this job's all about social media. So you got to be in front of the camera, be around people. So if you're an attention whore, it works great.
Yeah.
Networking, getting to meet people, getting to do things, getting to have some of the best sex of your fucking life.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the downsides of that. In order to be able to work really, really good at this job and make the money, you need to put in the work as a male talent. I'm not talking about female talent. I'm talking about male talent. You need to put in a lot of work. If you think you can do this job without a Viagra, if you think you can do this job without the shot, you're fucking sorely mistaken. Because once it gets to a place, you're not always in the mood. I've had friends die and I had to go do their scene that day when I found out about it. It was their fucking scene. I've had my grandpa die the night before. I still had to go do a scene. I've had my girlfriend and me broke up and I had to do a scene with her. And I was almost in tears the whole time. I was able to suck it up and get the scene done. These are things you have to deal with. And so you have to take things to make sure that you can stay horny and get your dick up. You have to be in spots in this job where you have to get your dick hard to certain things that you never would have thought you were going to be able to do. Not only that, but doing this job in very uncomfortable ways. There was a performer who said, this job is not being good at sex. This job is about being good at having sex for a long time in very uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
Because we have to open up the camera. So having sex with all these amazing women isn't really sex. I'm only getting so much my dick in to open up the camera because the lights need to be in there. And if you man blanket her, which means you cover her up and do the thing you want, the director will yell at you. So you get to have sex with a lot of beautiful women. Now, here's all the downsides. Not every girl wants to fuck you. Not every girl is into you. Not every girl is going to help you. Not every girl is going to say nice things to you. Some girls will blatantly talk shit to you. Yeah. Now, some girls are amazing. Some girls won't do that, but this is not always the case. If you work every day, you're not always going to get the best people. Now, even that, you're going to get people that are your friends that will talk shit to you when you're having a hard day because they're still trying to have a fun day and they don't understand what's going up here. So you have to mentally corral your brain to make everything work. Taking a lot of Viagra is probably not great for your heart.
Yeah.
You're going to have, you're going to end up having days where your dick is not going to work. It won't work at all, no matter what you do, because you're so far in your head and you just wasted everyone's time. You wasted that girl's time. You're going to have that girl look at you like you're fucking less of a man. You're going to have all these feelings inside and you have to be like this.
Yeah.
All right. Because you can't freak out the girl. Don't matter what the girl did. Doesn't matter if it's her fault. It's your fault because that's your fucking dick. Which can mentally fuck you up for a long time. I've had times where it just destroyed me going home after a scene because I don't care what guy. Pick one of your favorite performers out. He's failed. He's failed multiple times. There's no way you can do this job without failing. Right. So that's the thing that you have to deal with. You have to go home and you can't yell at anyone. You can't get mad at anyone. You have to sit there and be like, it's that day. I'm sorry, guys. Don't pay me. Give me less of a paycheck. And you have to sit there and you have to suck up your pride and do something like that because the long haul, it's not about if you scream at them, they won't hire you back. But if you say, don't pay me and you act calm about it, they will. Yeah. So there's the downside with that. Also, STDs. You're going to get them.
And people lie about that shit too.
Yeah, you're going to get herpes. You're going to get gonorrhea and chlamydia is the common cold in the industry. It fucking happens. Genital warts. You're going to get it. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. It's just going to happen. So yeah, people lie about it, but that is what it is. Yeah, let's see. Girls don't want to fuck you. Viagra, STDs. I used to be a huge people person. Right. I loved being around people. I wanted it all the time. This job has made that not as much of a thing because you work your ass off to get to a certain point in this job. And all day long, I'm trying to act like a person that I want you to be around. So if we're around each other, I'm going to try to make it feel as comfortable as possible because I want, not that I'm trying to manipulate, but I'm trying to make us have a nice day on set because if you're having fun, then I'm going to have fun.
Feels up better on camera, right?
Yeah. And
people don't realize
doing that all day, every day with a new person.
Exhausting.
It's always an away game and it always is just so by the time I get home, I'm done. And if you're working every day, it is just a lot. It just takes a lot out of you. It makes you feel you're kind of destroyed every day. And so you have to figure out a way to make this job work for you as best as possible. understanding you want to work for these big companies, but also understand that it's like trying to build a platform for people want to buy stuff from you. So you don't have to always work for the companies, building the OnlyFans, building this, but also knowing that the OnlyFans could get shut down. The mini vids could get shut down. This, because we are all under the, I'm going to say word scrupulous. We're under the magnifying glass of Visa and MasterCard. Yes. Not only that, but we're also under the porn overlords in Canada. If you guys didn't know that, all the porn companies are run through Canada, which is fucking weird and bananas, but it is what it is. And the reason we have to say most of the stupid dialogue we do in porn is because of Visa and MasterCard. Because if we say this or this, they won't sell our shit.
Yeah. It becomes a liability issue with making sure you get paid, because breaking terms of service is fucking huge, right?
It's huge. Also, one that we don't talk about nearly as much in the industry. I've had enough girls come to set and tell me that they aren't on birth control and a cream pie scene. They tell me afterwards. You don't know who's on birth control. You don't know who isn't. Do understand that every woman you meet in this job, just pretend that they are crazy and batshit. If you think that way, you're going to be a lot more understanding that getting your shit snipped is probably a good thing. Because if there's a girl on set and she accidentally gets pregnant and she decides to keep it, there's no paperwork there that says I'm going to be safe.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
I would love to find a lawyer to write something up like that, because that'd be great. Right. But it is something that until I can get myself snipped, it just kind of is what it is. You're very constantly worried about that, because I know that there's plenty of girls out there.
Birth control.
Yeah, I know plenty of girls out there like, oh, I just take Plan B. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
you're destroying your system. But at the same time, here I am taking Viagra all the time. So who's on the wrong? We all do that to our body for this job to make sure we are constantly working. Whether like girls keeping their pussy health in check, or guys making sure their dicks are working every day. So it's just, it's a lot more of a job that I did not know was going to be so taxing on my mental health and my physical health in ways that I was like, no, it's just fucking, I mean, technically this job's been worse on my mental health than stunts ever was.
Yeah.
And I threw myself off buildings on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easier.
Crazy. That is fucking crazy. I do have more questions about that. Like, oh my goodness. How many fucking bones did you break?
None.
Jeez.
Never broken anything.
So you were extremely talented.
You know how many times I've been on set and just like looking at like something I have to do, and I'm like, I have to literally mentally get myself there to do this. Whenever I do a stunt, I just can't be afraid and have to know my training.
Right.
Go back on training. Do what you do. You throw your ass. But guess what? It's when I look down my dick on a stunt set or doing coordinating or whatever I'm doing for that, I look down and be like, it doesn't matter how irritated I am with crew. It doesn't matter how irritated I am with the actor. It doesn't have me like I'm watching the actor barely knock the other actor in the face with a punch. And I just like, then I look down my dick. I'm like, oh, I know how to get my dick up. So this works out great.
I love it. I love it.
But just throwing this out here, not saying you wouldn't have an amazing time, but I like to say the downsides of this job, because not that I'm not trying to get people not to come into it. I'm letting you know because no one let me know. 100%. I wouldn't have believed him in the first place, because I'm like, oh, he's just hogging it. As a guy, I think we all think that someone's just trying to hoard all the pussy. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
These girls are badass.
And I mean, at this point, you've had enough pussy to know, you know what I mean? You've been in the industry long enough so you can be like, hey, I've had enough pussy. I'm not trying to keep it all to myself. I'm just trying to tell you. And, I've helped a lot of people. There have been several people that have asked me to be their mentor when it came to sex work. And I'm like, I would love to fucking help you, especially if you're from Kentucky, because nobody here is in sex work. So fucking I would love it. And then it's like, I help them, I give them information, I kind of try to guide them into doing stuff. But whenever they see that it's a real fucking job, that it's real fucking work, they dip out because I'm not doing all the work for them. Like, nah, bitch, I did that work myself without help. You're doing it with help and you don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's because when it comes down to it, these things are a job. You want to make money off it, it's a job.
Yeah.
You want to be a Twitch streamer who plays video games, it's a job. It's a job. These are all jobs.
You got to show up.
Yeah, like with one guy that I don't really like to mention because it kind of irritates me, but he's done amazing. PewDiePie. You know him?
Yeah.
Twitch streamer, plays video games. This motherfucker is either on so much fucking energy drinks all the time to film as much footage like this and then coming up with the ideas. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy that he's put that much work in doing stupid voices on stupid video games. But at the same time, how am I supposed to hate on them? I don't like NSYNC, but they did amazing getting to where they were,
Yeah.
You got to respect these people for being able to make money where there was no money.
And that's a fucking hustle. That's a grind.
Yeah.
Like,
it takes day in, day out doing this. Like, dude, I've had days off the last couple days. I usually never have time off. And know what I have to do on my days off? I got to film cooking videos. I got to film TikToks. I got to go live on TikTok. I got to go live on this. I got to go live on this. I got to make videos. I did a video the other day of me just cleaning my AR with a shirt off, just greased up. Just because I'm trying to think of ways that I can make money where there is no money,
and that's hot as fuck.
It's on Pornhub if you want to go check it out.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about kind of hunting and shit.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your guns. Tell me what kind you got. I need to know. I'm a gun person.
Let's see. 1911 Kimber, got a Glock 34, got a what's that? What's that fucking lightweight hunting rifle? 308 Savage. 308 Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Great gun, lightweight. I was carrying this thing around. It's fucking awesome.
Now, what do you hunt with your 308?
Well, last time I was able to go out was a white-tailed deer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I personally would like to get good enough to go do elk because elk's great, and I would love to have that in my freezer. I'd like to because I like feeding people. I barbecue all the time. Last 4th of July, I did a full pig like lechon and on a spit, just like let it go. Love it. Then we have the 5.56 St. Victor. We have the 300 Blackout. Oh yes, and a 22 Henry, the lever action.
So, do you have like a background with guns, or is this just like a hobby that kind of developed later?
I've always wanted guns. I've lived in Southern California my whole life, so guns weren't exactly an option. Not only that, but I was homeless for a long time. So it's like I had a sawed-off shotgun that I paid a lady with, $60 and 18 Vicodin. She gave me this fucking just fucked up sawed-off shotgun, but the cops took that. So
yeah.
Guns is something I've always wanted to have. I always wanted to have one of those, like, you know the old movies where they're like in England, it's like a red velvet room where the cigars, they have all these old guns. Always wanted that, like. Also have my grandma's father's World War I rifle he took in to battle.
Fuck.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's dope. All wood.
You have to send me pictures. I want to see this.
Love them. So it's always something I wanted. It's something I wanted to do, something I really wanted to get into. But it wasn't until like literally after quarantine where the riots were happening, gunshots were happening everywhere. And I didn't have anything, nor did I have the training to even feel like if I had one, it'd be a good thing.
Right.
So I ended up being able to find a place because at this point you couldn't find fucking guns. And I was trying to get a 308 AR to go hunt pigs with. But the 308 St. Victor, it was like a year wait. And they hit me up like, hey, we got a 5.56 in here right now. Come get it. I'm like, done. So I got the 5.56, and then but right before that, because that was taking so long, I got the 1911 Kimber. 1911, amazing gun, solid. Yes. Especially because my next pistol was the Glock 34. And if you've had a fucking Glock for the first time, it's just fucking eeky crap. The cool thing about the Glock is the customizability. It's a what do they say? It's a Honda Civic that you can soup up into whatever the hell you want. That's why I'm not sure if you know who Terrence Tactical is. Yeah. Terrence Tactical takes the Glock 34 and fucking soups that bitch up to make it like a $5,000, $7,000 gun. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, having the 1911, having the Glock 34, it's like such a different type of gun that it's like when you went from one to the other, it's like, God damn, this is like a Tonka toy. This is like, I want a pistol hit fucking shit out of someone with this. So those are a lot of fun. And I'm glad I get an array of guns. Not because home defense wise, because understanding I don't live in a fucking place with brick walls. You know, anything I'd shoot in here would be a problem, because I have neighbors.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even be for that. This is recreational fun for me because I like to take people out. Like I love taking people from countries who've never shot guns before. I love taking them out shooting. So much fun.
Fuck yeah.
Also, if you haven't done this yet and you have any sex dolls at home, if you shoot a sex doll, it acts like ballistics gel. So in slow-mo, it actually goes, whoa. It's fantastic.
I have not tried that before.
You should definitely, especially if you get tannerite where you're at, fucking shove some tannerite up a pussy and shoot it.
Yeah.
Super fun. Really recommend it. But going back to what I was saying.
I think the last thing I shot was pumpkins. Yeah. Pumpkins and watermelon.
Tannerite inside of fucking strap that to a fucking dildo. Good times. But what I was gonna say is, with also getting the gun, the first thing I did was actually start taking tactical gun courses, because it's irresponsible to me as a gun owner, especially in California, to own weaponry and not know certain things, like where that bullet's going, it's gonna keep going, right? And understanding it's like I'm pulling the gun out and pointing it, it's gonna go there. Also knowing, especially with pistols, if I jerk the fucking bullet or the fucking trigger, the bullet's going to go all over the place, you know? So understanding training, putting it out there. How's my arms? How am I pulling the trigger? Just pulling the trigger. How am I doing at these things to make this work better for me? And not only that, make me feel safer around people. So now when I talk to people about guns, maybe I don't know all the parts. Maybe I don't know all the little
but you have knowledge.
Right. But I have enough knowledge to where I'm like, okay, guys, this is what you need to do, and this is what you got to do. Not only that, but when I'm on stunt set, it's really good to know how to walk and move with the gun, you know?
Yeah. Especially because there are so many movies that I've seen with people that are like handling firearms that you can tell they do not know how to fucking handle a firearm. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, so I got hired to do stunt coordinating on 2 different pornos, right? One of which, it's like there's a lot of porn people holding guns. Now, these are all airsoft guns, so at least we can feel safe with that. But I'm still checking every gun because we don't need a Michael Baldwin thing happening.
Yeah.
But having said that, I still...
And those airsoft guns can still fuck people up.
Oh, fuck yeah. But even saying that, like with the knowledge I have, is not even nearly as much as, like, I have a buddy named Mike Ema. He is military. He's ex-military. He's getting his stunt work. So what I do on anything where there's a gun, I bring my buddy Mike with me, because this way he can spot things that I can't see. And not only that, because I'm coordinating these things, I can make him fucking pitbull after people and be like, yo, fucking tell them to stop it. Yeah. So it's having people like that really helps, because, you know, if you've been doing one thing your whole life really well, it's good to have those people on your side for things. Like for example, if a director friend of mine was trying to shoot a sex scene in a regular movie, hire me to come in and be like, no, stop. Because how many times have you seen a sex scene in a movie like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, that reminds me of, what movie did I watch? I was watching some show and there was a fucking sex scene and they were supposed to be going at it. And the motherfucker was so low, there's no way that he would have been in a fucking vagina. Like, he looked like he was like humping the bed because she was up too high. And I'm just like, you know that dick is not reaching that vagina.
That could also be a handful of different reasons, because a lot of the actors in Hollywood right now are so afraid to do and so afraid to talk about these certain things that it makes it hard for them just to be, it's going to sound really weird, a guy on set. Like, you can get in close, this is the scene, but you're afraid that she's going to call something on you. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm taking a step back, I'm going to just fake, you know. Hold on for a second, I really need to pee.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. Hi.
Hello. Come here often.
Not as much as I'd like.
So
Come to Kentucky, see them titties.
yes, you need to. And you need to go fucking hunting.
I'm super down.
Like, okay, so I know earlier we were kind of talking before I started recording because I got so excited. So in Kentucky, if you have your own land, you can literally hunt whenever the fuck you want. So I literally love deer hunting. I love turkey hunting. Those are my two favorite. And it's very plentiful. So out in Cali, is there anywhere that you have like a special area where you can go hunting or enjoy yourself out there with your guns?
So fun enough. This was a weird thing because I remember doing my I'm not sure if you guys need a hunting license out there.
Yes.
Do you need to go the whole course, like the 8-hour fucking course
Yes.
that you can do online, just cheat on all of it? You didn't hear me say that, but yeah. Like either way, because the way I thought of it was like I'm always gonna go out with someone so they can give me the rundown of whatever needs to be happening, you know?
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
not pointing the gun at people, not doing like everything's pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
But with doing that, you realize when you buy a hunting tag in California, I always thought that the land that you could hunt on would be farther away.
Mm-hmm.
There was places literally right in LA that you can go deer hunting.
Like in the middle of the city?
No, like in like kind of at some points that like the land you can hunt on. Now it's probably not going to be the best to hunt there just because the deer are going to scare it off. But I mean, I've been in Malibu, like right by the beach, and seen fucking like a family of deer.
Mm.
You can go up in there and fucking find them up there. Like there's up in the hills and shit. Right. If you go down the 405 by Six Flags, there's a shit ton of hunting ground there. Now, when saying that, you can only go hunting there in certain times of the year, but you can go hiking out there and like figure out where you need to go hunting and whatnot. But when you're talking about like hunting all year round, there is land, but it's mostly land that is owned by farmers. And so most of these guys are pretty smart. They'll be like $800 and we'll take you to go hunt pigs. And I'm just like, that ain't worth the pork, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking $800. I can raise a pig that could last me a year for $300. And that's like, I don't have to like fucking $800. Are you goddamn crazy? I go to Texas and go shoot whatever the fuck I want. Nobody gives a shit. Pigs are invasive, you know? So like in California, because of there's some stupid laws, it's just there's some dumb things about like the way what they can and cannot hunt. We have a problem with mountain lions half the time, but we can't shoot. Like why? They won't even give out tags
for a mountain lion.
No, won't give out tags. They won't like the only way you could hunt a mountain lion in California is if the government or if the country or the government fucking pays a hunter money to go kill it, but you can't eat it. They kill it and dispose of it, which apparently mountain lion tastes great, which is a bummer to me because I'd love to have some.
Yeah.
But also understanding that mountain lions are a bitch to hunt.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I was watching this. Have you ever watched Meat Eater?
Mm-mm.
It's a great show on Netflix about the can't remember his name, but he goes on all these hunting trips and he does a very good job at showing animal like how to rebuild population and like how to hunt, but also in a way that it works good for like, for a good example, California people or New York people to understand hunting isn't a bad thing. It's putting money back into conservation because every tag goes back into the conservation of these animals. And if we let the population go overboard, then we ended up having to kill more of them or do this, or they'll be in your backyard, you know? Or for example, like we'll have like massive diseases if they let them get too overpopulated, they don't have any animals. Yeah. So I know like they have that huge problem with that in fucking Tasmania with the Tasmanian devil because they don't have any species that could kill them anymore because apparently, the natural predator they had died off. It was like this wolf that dislocated its jaw. It was crazy. But they have herpes all over their faces, these giant like things all over because they're just so overpopulated now.
Right.
So it's one of the things that I think a lot of people in big metropolitan areas don't understand is the conservation aspects that goes along with hunting, you know, because they always think of big game hunting where a guy comes back from Africa with his big old thing.
Trophy.
Yeah, it's trophy hunting. And I'm in not saying anything bad about that, because at the same time, you put so much money into it.
Yeah.
If that goes back to the conservation, I got no fucking problem, because usually that's a wild bull that's killing off younger bulls in general. Now, I could be absolutely wrong about this, but from what I've learned, again, this is not facts, guys. This is from what I've learned in the time I've learned about it. It goes back into conservation. It's like, how is the fucking people going to make money? It's not like anyone's like, there's some people paying to go see these animals, but it's still not enough to hold huge chunks of land and also watch it from poachers.
Right.
So if you can make like fucking $1 million off killing off one of the bulls that are already fucking acting up, and he's already going to go, and you need to let the younger bulls come up, it's like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of people get this in their head where they see like this graphic killing of something and they're like, oh, well, that's how everything happens. Everybody's just so violent. Like, no, like on my farm. Okay. So there are several kinds of varmints that kill shit, right? Like mink are terrible. Like you can't have chickens and shit. They will fuck. Yeah. Like I lost entire flocks in a matter of months before because of mink. And I mean, there's nothing really in Kentucky in my area that was a predator for them. So like, I got to take care of that shit myself. And if I don't have any fucking chickens. You know what I mean? Like people don't look at it like that. Like, no, I'm not trying to kill this animal just to fucking kill it. Like there's a reason it needs to die. Like people don't look at that shit. So.
No. And that's the thing that's like, people don't understand, because coming from a city era, they don't understand what it is, what the problem is. If you're going to survive, what do you need to do? Everyone comes from this idea of like, oh, we can go to the store and get something, but that's not the way the world works.
Do you know how many people don't know where meat actually comes from? They're like, oh, you need to stop killing that.
Yeah, I say this all the time, because like, if you look at inner city or like it just a metropolitan area, you look at chickens. What do you think of? What do you think of? You think of the bird.
Yeah, and I think
you think of something that's going to support your life through giving you egg, through giving you this, through giving this. But most people hear chicken or chicken nugget, they don't think of the bird. They think of the meat. They think of the like, oh, chicken sandwich, chicken this, chicken that. I think, me personally, if you want to have the opportunity to eat meat, you need to go kill something. You need to respect that animal. You need to understand that this animal came from this to this. I used to raise goats from birth to death. I used to raise pigs from birth to death. I used to raise all. I used to live in an area in California that actually we had farm. I had a herd of 30 goats, 2 male goats breeding. I had pigs, I had chickens, I had cows, I had sheep.
Another fucking tick on my list. How do you keep getting better?
And a handful of things I learned from that is just the fact that it's like, you can grow more appreciation. I know this is going to sound very morbid for a lot of people, but you can get a lot more appreciation for the food you eat if you've done the work. 100%. I raised a goat from birth. I birthed it. I brought it out of there. I cared for it. I brought it all the way up, and then I slaughtered it once it was old enough. And now, using the word slaughter, I know is a triggering word for a lot of people, but understanding that it's like, this is something that you need to do because you are doing it. Now, if we're just doing with vegetables, you're still killing stuff because you're going to the store. You're not raising this stuff yourself. So a lot of things get put up in the processor of destroying these area. So you're going to kill rats. You're going to kill birds. You're going to kill this. You're going to kill that. There's a lot of things you kill. So it doesn't matter what we eat. Something's got to die.
Yes.
So having said that, in order for population in this world to understand that this beautiful creation that we have called America, and I understand that's a triggering word for some people too, but understanding that we live in a very beautiful bubble that could be taken away at any point. So understanding that your thoughts, your feelings, your all the things that you think that are something that really matters could all be taken away in an instant if the power goes out or this goes out, and you don't have the ability to actually do stuff. You don't have the ability to help. You don't have the ability to grow. You aren't self-sufficient, and because of the way you think, you would have a hard time in that because you would think you have these morals that would last 3 ages. But the morals only go for right here.
Yeah, and they don't know where the shit comes from. They wouldn't know how to get it.
Those morals aren't a thing, you know.
Yep.
You know, like populations that are like vegetarian, like India does great, but that's because India's based their whole society around certain, not all of them, but they're like Indian food does really well with like, we're doing curry, sweet potatoes, and this makes sense.
Right.
Not everyone's like that. Not every place is like that. That can be taken away from us in an instant. So why not be good at understanding these things and not judging people for doing that? But everyone has this idea when it's hunting, you're a bunch of drunk dudes in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is not fun. I've been in the forest drunk too and shooting guns. It's great. Not responsible at all, but it can be fun.
Yeah. Bonfires in Kentucky are fucking huge too. Have you ever been to a bonfire? Because well, there's a lot of shooting and drinking and shit, but I'm gonna say be responsible no matter what you're doing. If a gun is involved, be responsible. But bonfires are
wear
fucking
your
huge.
helmets and bulletproof vests.
Yeah, 100%. And take a fucking class. There are so many people that don't even know how to turn the safety off of a fucking gun, but they're trying to use a gun. Like, take a
And
class.
you know what? I'm not going to say I'm the best at this because I still have sometimes where I'm pull up, bam, bam, put down. And at that times, put safety on. Sometimes your brain forgets it, but just understanding this is the process,
Yeah.
These are all good things to know. These are good ways to move about your life and just understanding that if you're going to have a gun, how many times I've heard people like, I'm going to buy a gun for self-defense. I'm not really going to train. I don't want to be that guy. I'm like, wait, you live in a second story apartment building. Those walls are that thick of drywall. Your protection is going to kill someone, maybe.
Yeah.
But you don't know that, and you don't want to get to know that because you just think that getting a gun is going to help you. Do you think it's like being a really strong guy, but like, I'll beat your ass, but he has no ability to even know martial arts?
Yeah. Like that makes no fucking sense to me.
Makes no sense. No.
None.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about food. Tell me about cooking. I know you have an amazing podcast. How did that develop? I know you have a passion for food, right? Tell me about it.
I started really getting into cooking when I was younger. My mom went into a coma and got some of her brain taken out. And so she was just out of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad was always at the hospital. And so was me and my sister. And so I started fucking around, learning how to cook. Started with hamburgers on the grill, then moved into stir fries. Stir fries, I think, is a great way of learning how to cook. But at the same time of learning how to do this, I learned about Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain, for anyone who wants to cook or anyone who learns how to cook, it paints this beautiful picture of cooking,
Right.
It's like he travels, he does this, he does that. He's getting to meet new people, new societies, learn about different food. And then you slowly realize through doing this and through hearing him talk about food, how it can be passionate. It doesn't have to just be the thing you ingest to get through your day. Not only that, but you realize really quickly, once you're a cook, I will never have a place in this world where I can't understand someone because of food. I can go anywhere and learn cooking and feed someone. And now we're actually at an even playing field because I'm actually getting you to trust me and learn how to like me through your stomach, which is everyone's fucking love language. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you make something really good, people are going to like being around you. So
it is comforting.
Just comforting, comfort, enjoying that because everyone likes the pleasure of taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
COVID.
Yeah. And I've met plenty of people who are like, oh, I just eat food because I have to. I'm like, you do up to the point where you have this.
Right.
If I put a blindfold on you and just make you taste amazing things, your senses are going to be crazy.
Yeah. Like so some of us get fucking horny as hell from that. Like it's another way to kind of touch inside your soul, right? It's one of those, it's not at that point, it's not just a comfort kind of thing. If you were blindfolded and you were tasting all this amazing stuff, it brings up memories. Like if you've tasted something similar in the past, it can activate, something else within you. So it's a matter of not just being that experience, but it can bring up all kinds of shit that's happened all around you, right?
Yeah. 100%. And so it's a cool feeling learning how to do that. And then I was homeless up in Santa Barbara and I ended up getting a job at a fine dining French restaurant. And then learning from there, those people give me the trust to actually give me the time to learn how to cook. Cause everything else would just be cooking,
right.
By myself. And I didn't really know much, but learning how to caramelize onions right and fucking make salads and learning to prep and learning how to debone an animal and just tear the flesh part, making soups, making stocks, making this, making that. And then through that, working in many different kitchens and learning different things. Last one being a paleo delivery company where I got to learn how to make a little bit more healthy food. but just learning how to do this may have been the best thing I could have ever learned as a young man, because I learned a skill that I could use anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do porn anymore, I could go back to cooking. It's going to be hard because they're going to put me as prep and I'm going to be like, nah. But it's still great to know. And also because you learn a handful of things, like how many people can you hate in the kitchen and still do your job? You can hate every fucking one of them, but all I have to do is outwork you.
Yeah.
Because if I outwork you, yes, people might be the favorite, but I'm going to work harder than you to put myself in a good spot. So you end up learning preparation, how to build my life around that. If I prep everything the day before, or I prep in the future, I'm going to be better off or if I prep in the past, I'll be better in the future. So learning how to do these things and learning how to build that, learning how to make a dish, learning from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, if you can put that into how to build your life, it makes a lot more sense, because you can break down. I need these seasonings. I need to heat the oven. I need to do this. I need to get the broth. I need to make this. I need to make that. And so doing those things helps you learn how to work your life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, because God knows I fucked up many meals, and God knows I fucked up my life many a times. But at least you can sit there and be like, okay, it wasn't this or this. I'm not blaming people for what's happened. I know this is the cause of this, and I need to change this to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
Cooking has probably been one of the most beneficial things I ever learned how to do.
Which is fucking awesome, considering like in Kentucky, it's one of those stereotypes, like only women cook. I'm gonna fucking tell you that is not the case. That is not fucking true. And everyone should learn to cook, because it's a life skill, not just a professional like or business aspect. It's a life skill. Knowing how to feed yourself, that's important, right?
Yeah. It's like, it's not a woman thing. It's not a guy thing. It's a fucking human being. If I hear one more time, I burn water, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face. No. It's stupid. You don't it's like, I'm proud of it. Why are you proud of not being able to survive? Why are you proud of just being like, I need my mom to make me food? No, go fuck yourself. Learn how to do a skill that's going to benefit your life. If you eat fast food all the time, I think of you the same way I think of fast food. You're a fat sack of shit. I just don't care. It's like,
it's terrible for you.
Yeah, be healthy. Just eat a little better. And I'm not saying
it does take more time to make your own food, but put the time in.
But like,
your body's worth it.
Learn how to, like, if you want to learn how to prep food, go look at some of these bodybuilders.
Yeah.
It's like, or no, even worse, go look at strongmen.
Yeah.
You want to see people who eat a lot of calories, but they have to prep all their food in advance. It's like, just learn some simple skills. Use ground beef, use what you know, but you can make this work for you. You can better your life by prepping. And I'm at fault of that too sometimes, because I don't get to prep nearly as much as I want, but that's just because I never know how long I'm gonna be on fucking set.
Yeah.
Puddles, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, not sure if you saw this dog.
Yeah, they were walking by whenever you went to the bathroom.
That's Puddles. Yeah.
How did Puddles get named?
It was either Puddles or Cerberus. Cerberus is the Greek mythology three-headed hellhound. But the reason I got a dog was because this job's very lonely.
Right.
Because of the lack of trust, and then you realize everyone has walls up, so you can never really break through those. So going to set, coming back home is usually a very lonely thing. So having someone at home who's always excited to see you makes you feel a lot better. So I picked a name that would make me giggle having to scream it, Puddles, or because that seemed funny to me, because I was also planning to get a basset hound.
Oh man,
being that stupid face every day. But the trade-off is this dog's non-allergenic, so it's got human soft hair. 12th smartest breed in the world. She's a super good dog, and I wish I had something to do with that, but she's just naturally a great dog. Downside, she is on her period right now, so she is a little bit of a she's been licking that pussy for like a week right now. It's just it makes me feel weird as a performer. Like you're fucking a year and a half. I don't need it. Stop. You're licking it.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh man. Oh, now I gotta calm down. Oh shit. So let's talk about your relationships. I know that, you know, right now it's kind of a lonely situation whenever you're coming home to no one. How has it impacted your relationships? How has porn impacted them?
That's a big one. That goes the years of doing this job. I've been in a lot of bad relationships in this job. I've also been in a lot of relationships where I can look back and be like, okay, I fucked up here, but this person wasn't communicating to me right, or they were able to do this. So there's a lot of ups and downs because, again, going back to the beginning where the people come in this job young, they kind of stunts their growth as a human because they're around all the same fucking retarded people all the time. I just got out of an engagement that was 2.5 years long, that wasn't going to work out because of many different reasons. One of which being, now they would say that how do I put this without, like, she's a beautiful person, amazing. We were two ships in the sea and we should have passed each other.
Right.
Because unfortunately we butt heads on a lot of issues, and they weren't wanting the same things I wanted, but they kept telling me they wanted that. And that ended up being like gaslighting you and making you feel bad because they wanted me to feel the same way they do.
Right.
But the problem is I don't. And I wish I did, because it would have made that relationship work a lot better. But at the same time, that's not me.
Right.
That you find that a lot in this job, a lot of times with females, where they get guys who are like, yeah, we're cool, what you do, but maybe you shouldn't work with guys, or maybe you should work with black guys, maybe you shouldn't work with guys, maybe you should only do girl, maybe you shouldn't get the girl to fuck you with a dildo, maybe this, maybe that. Going down that path. For guys, it seems like, for me, you end up stop doing things that you enjoy about the job. Now, when someone gets with you, they have to understand that you are in this job because the moments that are pleasurable are the best points of your day, and it doesn't happen all. But people, unfortunately, take that as they're not good enough, which can be a huge issue, because what I'm doing doesn't affect you at all, shouldn't affect you at all. But because you put value on what I do comparatively to you, makes you feel bad about being you.
Right.
So it does affect the relationships, does affect every relationship. I don't know that there's very few male talent out there who think of this same thing I do, which is, it gets to a point sometimes where you think that you can't have a relationship in this job as a male talent.
Yeah. Right.
Because someone's gonna make you stop doing this, or make you feel bad this, or tell you that every day they cry because of you. And because of the job, not, instead of like looking deep inside and be like, why do I feel this way? Why am I with this person? Should I be with this person?
Yeah.
You know,
which is questions that should be answered to begin with, not
it should be, but unfortunately when people are very romantically involved and very have the hearts and the feelings, and oh my god, I can do anything with this person, but when it gets thrown in their face, like you say, you're open, you're in an open relationship, and they say yes, and then you go back home after dating them, and then you just go fuck people because that's the same thing you've been doing.
Right.
And they didn't ask the right questions, because unfortunately the thing with people in our line of work is nobody really understands what it means or what you do.
Right.
When I say I fuck a lot of people, that means to most people, like, what, 8 people a month?
Yeah.
When I tell you I fucked 8 people in one day, and that was just one day.
Yeah.
When we've taken the entire week, that could have been 30.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. People don't understand how you go from set, do a scene, come back home, and still want to fuck someone. Because the scene wasn't sex.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so all you want sometimes is to actually feel someone
have that connection.
wanting. I just want someone to want me half the time, but people don't understand that. And then that also goes back to the relationship and making them feel not like they're not good enough.
Right. Yes.
Not that you're not
Lots
good
of
enough.
Insecurities.
Yeah. It's just this job will bring out whatever insecurity you think you didn't have. This job, by dating one of us, will make you feel it.
Right.
Because who in this world, because there's only like 20 dudes in the world that do what I do on a daily basis.
Right.
So who in the world is going to bring that out of you, without just cheating on you all the time? Because it's not that we're cheating. You came into this knowing what kind of person we are. So it just brings up a lot of painful issues to a lot of people.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And like, I feel like that goes with any relationship, like even people that aren't in adult entertainment, people that are just in regular relationships, they don't know how to communicate, especially whenever it comes to something that they're insecure about, because if they talk about it, that throws it out into the atmosphere, then it becomes real. And if it becomes real, then it becomes a problem. And if it's a problem, they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
See a fucking therapist. Like, that's
one
really
of the
smart.
one of the things I would say to anyone getting this job is, Puddles, could you get the fuck out of the way? Oh, dear God.
She wants screen time too.
Good girl. Fuck, your beard's all wet. One of the things I always have to say about anyone coming to this job, get a therapist. When you don't trust anyone, at least you can talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of days where it's like, okay, feelings about this or feelings about that, or feelings of inadequacy, feelings of this. And it's like, you don't want to talk to your friends about this shit. If you're a guy, you definitely don't want to talk about this stuff. Like, I can talk about me smashing pussy to my guys. They love it.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes they're irritated by it, but they get a fun story, these
Right.
fucked up stories. They want to hear all that shit. But do you think most of your guys want to hear about the fact that, dude, I was on set today and this one director said this one thing to me, and I just I couldn't even get my dick up because it fucked me up mentally. It brought me back to a place where I was in junior high. It made me feel inadequate, inferior, made me feel everyone else was just staring at me. These are things that your friends don't want to talk to you or don't want to hear about. You don't want to think about your dick being small. You don't want to think about this. You got to go into every scene thinking you're a champion. So having those conversations with your friends isn't really going to help. Having those conversations with girls in the industry definitely isn't going to help, because you need to put up this idea of you so these girls can't talk about you.
Which is fucking ridiculous. Like, you're taking the human element out of it, and at the end of the day, we're fucking
robots. We're robots.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you know how many times I've been yelled at by a director? Hey, you're a dick. Get your face out of the shot.
Yeah.
You think after a while that doesn't affect you? I'm good at this. I'm good at doing what I do. But it hits you certain ways sometimes.
Yeah. And some days it's going to be heavier than other days too.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. So with all that being said, tell me how sex work has helped you grow as a person.
You know what it has really, the one thing it has done a lot of? It's been able to give me the ability to buy all the stunt equipment I've ever fucking wanted.
Yes.
I can send you a stunt coordinating reel of all the shit I bought. I've been able to teach people how to get lit on fire. The other day I was sending people to get, we built up this wire setup so we could throw people to the air. Like, it kicked and you get flung 10 feet in the air. It has helped me grow as a person. You know what it's really done? I'm an amazing communicator now.
Aw, I love it.
I'm a better reader now. I'm a better actor, which I didn't think I was going to be good at. And again, I understand what most people say. You're doing porn acting. You can't act. I agree, but understand what
There's a lot of talent that you
there
have,
is talent, but we never get the ability to go more than a Mexican novella. That's as far as we can get with our acting skills, because you don't have the ability to do more than that. So it's given me that opportunity. It's given me the opportunity to not think about myself as having a small dick and being shitty in bed, because that's one of the reasons I got in, because I thought it was both those things. I had a bunch of ex-girlfriends tell me I was terrible at both those. They're like, you have a small cock.
I can tell you that you definitely don't have a small dick.
Well, one of these days, if you want to try it out, you can have it.
And I haven't even seen it in person, but I can tell you, I've definitely checked out your Twitter.
Well, maybe if one of these days you want to make a interesting hunting trip video where we go hunting and fuck in the forest,
Oh, I was actually getting ready to get out my camping equipment.
Yeah, see?
I got to set it out for this season, because I always set it out.
I got lots of cameras. I got drones. I got this. If you want to get that.
Yeah.
Just need that free invite out there. But it's given me the ability to talk to people. It's given me the ability to actually see your facial features and see what it means. Like, if I'm just talking to you with no feeling in it, so I'm just watching you communicate, I'm really good now at seeing what your facial features are and seeing what it means. Because most people, when they don't have to work at doing this sex thing every day, they're going to express things with their face, their uncomfortabilities, their comfortabilities, this, that. And so learning how to talk with that is giving me, this job is giving me that ability to work on this every day. I literally sit here and I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be good with you, what's going to be bad, what's this, what's that, what's
the body language.
Yeah. And so it's got me really good at that. It's got me really good at learning how a woman's body works, and also knowing that I will never know how a woman's body works. Because, let's say this, I've had more sex than most people in this world, right?
Right.
Likelihood of me being pretty good at what I do is allegedly high, right? You could probably say that by just looking at my my resume. My resume is fairly long.
Which I'm looking at your Twitter right now, and
you could just probably, we could probably go to say, I may be good at what I do. Maybe.
Right?
I'm not going to justify that, but even saying that, every woman's different. Everyone's had a different background. Everyone is in a different place mentally. So when I ask you, what do you like? What do you need? Give me this roadmap to play with your body, because I don't want you to live in this world of, oh, this sucks. No, I want to play in the world of, you tell me what you like, and I'm going to play with that. Once we get you to a comfortability level of you enjoying, then we can start playing with certain things that I like, or certain things that this is, and this and that, and this and that. Because through that, we're not trying to play. We're not trying to be like, is this good? Is this bad? I want to live in a world where we're both present. We're both there. I want you to be, if I can ever get any girl there, I want them to be in ecstasy when we're actually having sex. Now, I don't always succeed at that, but goddamn, I'm trying every day.
Right. And you put in the fucking effort. Like, oh my goodness, there's been so many people that I have seen, especially like male talent that get in, and I have found that people with ginormous fucking dicks think it's all about the dick. They're like, oh, well, I don't have to be good at it. I got a giant dick and they'll just want me for that. No, like your dick can only get you so far.
Say it to some of them. They went pretty far, but like on that same note, I 100% agree with you. But there are guys that like put Alex Jones. Alex Jones puts in the effort. That dude has got a fucking hog on him. That fucking, you break that thing off, it's a bat. Was it what's his name? Dread's a great example. This guy is the sweetest man ever. Love him to death. But unfortunately, he's got a cock that is the same size as a baby's fucking leg. It is disgustingly massive. But then, because in that sense, it is about his dick.
Right.
And also just trying to keep that thing
becomes like a fetish, though. That that goes in its own little niche. Like, oh, and you're gonna have to tell me, what do you like? Tell me your kinks. Tell me if you have any fetish. Tell me what you fucking like.
My thing, I was talking to someone about this guy, and it's like, fetish, not really. Like, there's all things I like, but it's like ADD,
right?
Or music fuel. There's always things that I like. There's bands like here, bands like that, but I can't listen to it all the time. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Having said that, things that have been constant for me is eye contact, emotion, and that's more or less because the job is maybe crave that more, but even more, it's finding out what you like.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you like? What do you like? What are you into? Because I want to do that, because seeing the face of like let's say no one's ever done this for you. Because I want to be that memory in your fucking head.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really hot to me, to see your eyes go, huh? Because I don't get that often. The only time I really get that, and I believe it, is when I cook for people.
Yeah.
So actually bringing that out of someone it's pleasure to me, just seeing that. And because it's like, I could just do the things I like, but if you're not into it, that doesn't fucking work,
Yeah.
It's like, unless I'm really into it, because I've done plenty of things where I'm like, I'm dom, you're sub, I fucking put you on the ground, but even then it's kind of work.
Right.
So I'd much rather play in a space like, if you're doing full-time dom shit, it's fucking work sometimes. Then there's other times where it's like,
I run fucking marathons, man. Like,
there's other times where it's like, get your fucking knees for me. And whatever you want, but that's still, I need a roadmap, because I can't just jump into being a dom for anyone. Like, if a girl was like, hey, I want you to dom me, but she's gonna fight me on everything, go fuck yourself. I'm not playing with a brat.
You can only read so much.
Yeah.
Right? You can't read their mind.
And not only that, but I'm always afraid of like, what if you me too me? So it's like I don't want to fucking do it half the time.
Yeah.
I've had girls want to be like, I want to go to cabins with you, and I want you to fucking hunt me down and beat the shit out of me as you fuck me. Now, sounds sketchy, but if it's consensual and she really wants that, could be a good time. Really hot. Because again, this goes back to, I want to be the person who's able to do something for you no one else will.
Right.
Having said that, would I do with most people? No, because I don't trust most people. Especially putting you in a place where you're in a cabin alone, things go wrong.
And some people just talk hella shit just for attention. Like, that could really fuck you and your career. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. So it just becomes that thing where I'm like, I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
And I need to know someone for a long enough time to actually have that rapport where it's like, you want to get weird? Let's get fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when it comes to things I like, squeeze my balls, squeeze my dick, That's usually to make it pop, to make me come. It's like you fucking play with my balls, but I just want someone to fucking enjoy me. I want someone to play. It's like, dude, I put a lot of work into this body. I'm putting it in front of you. I'm like, yo, do what you want. Let's get weird. Let's like fucking just touch me all over. You know who's great at that?
Tell me.
You know who Penny Barber is?
Mm-mm.
Look her up. Penny Barber is amazing. She will make you feel like you're the only your most important thing right there. I've seen this woman lick my body and worship my cock like there's like it's food and she hasn't had it for months.
Okay.
She is a bad bitch. I like, and she does stuff that I'm like I didn't even know I was into that. She's like licking my armpits and fucking like not taking a shower. She's into it. Like I just like
she's fucking hot as fuck too.
Oh, dude, like this woman would be like, call me mommy, and I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't know I was into that. Now I am. Great, that's cool. You know, it's like I like that. I like someone who knows what they want sexually because it's fun for me, especially when I have to deal with so many young people who's like, I don't know, I'll do what you want.
And people that are like open and communicate, like that's fucking sexy to me.
Oh, what is it? Consent is sexy. You know, it's like I like knowing what you want because guess what? Doesn't matter how disgusting you think you are. Probably not that bad.
Yeah.
Like I know so many vanilla people who are like, I kind of want you to choke me. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. I
like
thought we were having a kinky time.
How annoying is that when you're thinking of like, I want to dress you up as a clown and fuck you on a mountain in front of a fucking deer or something. I don't know. Like, what the fuck ever, you know? Like, let's be weird. Like, if I'm asking weird shit and you say choke or like, I want you to tie me to a bed, and now my brain's just like, you know how irritating it is? You tie someone to a bed, then you have to fucking flip them over and tie them up again.
That reminds me of so many
I want
people.
you to come in my mouth.
Like, there are so many people that come to me and they're like, it's probably the weirdest thing you've ever heard before. And I'm like, okay, let's hear it. And then they tell me something. I'm like, man, these people live under a rock. Like,
dude, good example. I was on set with this lady, right? Never met her before. And I was like, oh, what do you do normally? She's like, mostly scat porn. And I'm like, well, I got 45 minutes before the scene starts. So this is what we're talking about now because I've never met anyone who does this. She was a dominatrix who just shit in people's mouths. And I was like, and she started laying on information about it. I'm just like, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with me. You know, because I like knowing about weird shit. It's fucking phenomenal. Knowing how someone got their brain to a place where they want to eat shit is bananas. And she goes to tell me, she's like, and like people who've been doing it for a long time put icy hot in their mouth so it numbs up their mouth. Now, hearing that, I was even more blown away because I was like, wait, I thought the point would be to like you want to taste it, but apparently the point is just the groveling and eating something like that, which I'm like, the textures. I'm like, anyway, but knowing that kind of stuff is like that's another level of crazy. Another level of crazy, crazy. It seems to me like just like these little intricate like spots of like furries or fucking got rich dudes who like to shit their pants and go to dominatrixes and make them eat their own shit, stuff like that. Those are weird. Saying you want to be held down by a guy and choked, or you want a little bit of fantasy of a rape fantasy, not because fucking percentage wise, most women, I'd say 98% of all women have rape fantasies. It's not a rape fantasy. It's being not in control. That's almost all women.
And you know, most people don't realize that usually comes from some kind of trauma that was experienced, and this gives you the controlled environment to be able to enjoy and experience that trauma and grow past it. Like crazy.
It's wacky. And so it's like I like to give the people out there who think they're so weird and like I couldn't imagine anyone knowing. Guess what? Your dad does weirder shit. Guess what your grandma had to do when she was sucking your grandpa's balls? It's like, you want to think about weird stuff. Of what kind of weird shit does your family have to do to make you? It's like you think you're weird because maybe you want to be peed on. No, maybe you like watching two dudes fuck. That you're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Maybe you just like watching trans porn. Maybe you like watching fucking, I don't know, anime porn where like monsters are fucking at shit with these massive cocks. It's not that weird. It's like once you get into the state of asking people and people actually will tell you, you're not that weird. It's normal as fuck. There's fucking magazines about it somewhere.
And
There's a
that all
whole
goes back to
Germantown
the
just
acceptance
for
of
that.
it. Yeah. Like people think, oh, well, I'm so weird, nobody's going to accept me. So they don't like educate themselves. And then they come into like some kind of fetish world and they're like, wow, maybe I'm not this weird person that everybody in my little tiny hometown of 200 people think. Like, nah, motherfucker. Like,
You're
this
small
is
fish in an even bigger pond.
yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. So I've got 2 questions left for you. I know you have a lot going on today. I've just enjoyed talking to you so much.
I enjoy talking to you too. I'm excited about my trip out to you to go hunting.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to send you a couple pictures. I was just there at my farm yesterday. So I'm gonna send you some pictures. Okay, so question. This is about kinks too. Do you have any soft or hard limits that just absolutely no goes? Even if it's like vanilla or something on the set, you're like, I absolutely do not cater to that.
Anything in my asshole, for a handful of reasons, one of which being like, I just don't want to. The comfortability of doing this stuff. Like I like people eating my ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eating your ass on set kind of sucks because I have to fucking hold open positions. My fucking flexibility, my hips aren't as good. So holding my legs up or doing this, it's just, it's not comfortable. So when you're doing things on set, it's all about letting the variables, like finding out your variables, right? What's going to work best for you to make the scene happen as efficiently as possible. Not only that, but most directors won't tell you when they're fucking doing that shit. Also, if you start doing anything where you get penetrated through your asshole, you're getting put in a whole nother category and people want to work with you. Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes a huge issue.
Right.
I've met girls who like, I don't work with him because he did gay stuff. I know some major talent out there who did a thing where they sucked on a dildo, and girls were freaking out about that because then they think that he's male escorting. Yeah,
I think that makes them hotter to me.
wait, no. I want you to stop thinking as a BDSM dominatrix and start thinking of a normal girl who's vanilla, who comes into porn and hears her agent say, if you do this, you have AIDS.
Which is fucking crazy. Like uneducated people get in the industry and they're just so uneducated, and it's sad to me.
It is what it is. So that's one of the things. So it's like doing that kind of stuff is just no go. Don't need it. Don't need to do it just because it's like I already do what I do and I'm good at this. And I don't need to go outside that barrier because I'm not Dante Cole. Dante Cole does everything, not him. So that's the boundaries. But besides that, other things like if I don't have to do a gangbang, I won't. I will do them for people. Don't really care to do them because in personal life, love them. Like let's say I was at your place, right? You're like, I want to be banged out by a bunch of guys. I'm like, got you, because that's fun because I get to experience that with you. But on set, opening the camera, doing this, doing that, fuck that. It's like then you get guys who are pushing through to get the pussy, and I'm just like, I just want to go home, dude, because it's just me jerking off. Dee Williams, you know who she is? Dee Williams, amazing MILF performer, said best.
Google.
Yeah. But gangbangs is one hard cock while you're trying to get the other one's hard.
Right.
What is? Yeah. Blow bangs, there's no money in it for me anymore because they don't pay enough. So they're like, don't do them.
I think
Besides
a lot of new talent does the blow bangs.
Yeah, new talents are just guys that never would make it. They just like, they're guys they call for the blow bangs, gangbangs. Besides that, yeah, it's really, I can't think of anything that's too far now. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I do think I've seen Dee Williams.
You probably have big tits, short hair. She's got a big old cross.
Yep, I have definitely.
Yeah, she's done Evolve fights a lot. She was big in the kink community, or she is big in the kink community. Amazing woman. She is so lovely. But yeah, so like when it comes to that, that's pretty much the only one. Besides, like, let's see. I did find out I hate when girls take their nails, grow into my chest, and rake over my nipples.
Yeah.
Didn't like that.
Yeah. Is it like the pain from it, or is it just like irritating? Or
it's the like, cause I'm okay. Like in this particular scene, I didn't know was going to go this route, but this particular girl did a lot of kink stuff. And so when I said I was good with everything, and I didn't know what, because I don't ever kind of scenes, it was a VR scene, and she started going at me the same way she go to kink thing. And me personally, I will deal with pain because I want to see how far I can take myself.
Yeah, right.
But if in the order to keep your dick going and whatnot and to make the scene move along, things I didn't like was that I'd much rather you smack my dick and balls.
Yeah. Understandable. So, okay, the last question that I'm going to have for you today is, Can you tell me what advice you would give to someone who wants to pursue being male talent? Like, what do you wish someone would have told you when you started?
You sure you want to do that? It's like, are you really sure? Because
Yeah.
there's so many things that you don't take into account when doing this. It sounds great out in the outside world. Like, let's just go fuck girls. But I don't get
Right.
to fuck. I get to kind of fuck girls. And I got to stay hard to that. You want your paycheck, your life. Everyone's going to know. Not only that, but most people don't have a very good idea on you. Most people
Right.
aren't going to look at you like a person. I've had people look at me like a sex trafficker. I've had
Yes.
people not want me around other people they know or kids or family. In the stunt community, people are nervous to talk to me because of what I do. There are some people who probably will never hire me because they're Christian and they don't want their wives knowing they hired a porn star.
Yeah.
And I use that term very lightly, star. It comes with a lot of bad side. And also, do you understand this isn't maybe not a job that you can be in the rest of your life unless you go to camera or crew or something like that. But you kind of put yourself into a small place where now that's all I can kind of do, unless I have any other weird jobs. I think personally, it's better to do OnlyFans or minivids or clip sale, webcamming, stuff like that.
Like a contractor working for yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, then yeah, it's like it's hard to find good talent like in that, but you don't have to deal with the downsides of doing this, which is a lot of mental problems that I did not know were going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, so it's like not that it's not a cool job, that's not this, not that. There's upsides to everything, but if I can say one thing to every male who wants to do this, it's think about it. Think about what you're doing. Think about how good am I at talking with people? How good am I at holding back the anger? How good am I at not screaming at people? How good am I at being able to sit there and take mental or verbal abuse, but still get your dick hard?
Yeah. And you got to like have cameras all around you. Like there's going to be points where you can't even see what your dick is in or where your dick is at.
And there's going to be times where you can't feel your fucking dick.
Yeah.
And I know that seems crazy because you touch the wind blows on some guys and their dick's hard. That used to be me. And if I don't have sex for a couple of days, that does happen. Also, the fact that when it's not there, and if you work all the time, now you have this weird need or want to have sex all the time.
Yeah.
Do you really? And Kathy Ireland told me this. I'm not sure if you know who she is. She's an old school performer. I asked her because, like, hey, Kathy, you used to be in porn. You used to do it all the time. You were the one who doing all the crazy shit.
Right.
When that goes away, does the want go? She's like, no. You open Pandora's box. That doesn't shut. And I was like, and maybe that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but because they're like, oh, I can do all these crazy stuff. But it's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
But if you do all this shit all the time and you start getting to that tired place where you're really horny and like just, and the things you start thinking about are disgusting because you've done all of it. So you can even understand every aspect of what would happen.
Right.
So it just becomes this place of you're very alone. Very alone and very tired all the time. Also, if you have to pop multiple times a day, you're losing testosterone every time you do it. So it's just like, it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to like, we were talking about the relationships earlier. It's hard to have a relationship. I've seen so many people have issues with their relationship because somebody brings like insecurities in and they don't talk about it. And then they just
get it, Post. Get it. Go kill it. Sorry. Go get it. You got a dog door for a reason. Go kill it. Don't stare at the door. Go. Sorry, this is interrupting you.
That's okay.
Get out of my house. No, stop. No. Go kill it. Go kill it. Go kill it. Oh, 1 second. The door's shut. That's why.
Okay.
Go get it, Post.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fucking cute.
Like, why aren't you going outside? She's like, the door shut to her doggy door.
So it has a huge impact on your relationships. It can kind of leave you lonely. And that goes back with kind of like doing your research. They get in, they're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna be super excited. I'm gonna get my dick wet. I'm just gonna fuck all these females and stuff. But at the end of the day, like are you just looking to fuck a bunch of women, or are you eventually looking to have some kind of relationship? Because not everybody can be with a porn star.
And thinking like that, where it's like, I'm just gonna go fuck with a bunch of women. You're not, because also, you know what sells yourself to porn women? The same thing sells you to every other person. Being a fun person to be around, being respectful, being this, being that, and just like learning how to communicate to someone. So it's like, you don't need this job to get laid. I know plenty of dudes who just go fuck a bunch of girls on Tinder and they're fine. You know, they say the well's drying up a little bit, but I'm like, is that your fault or theirs? You know?
Right.
So it's like, you don't need this job to get laid. Not only that, but this adds a whole level of pressure to it that you don't fucking need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, you're not always going to get to enjoy the experience to the fullest, right? Because we were talking about, you got to hold positions for a long period of time. You got to keep your dick hard. You got to like mentally be in that space so that you are ready for whatever you have to do to perform. And that means you're not always going to feel good.
Yeah. Not always going to feel good. Not always going to feel the best. So it does become that issue. So yeah, what I would just tell people is like, really think about it. Is it worth it? And let me tell you, after doing the same thing over and over and over, is it worth it? I don't know, because I'm having to be around a bunch of high school. It feels like high school, and always to be in that job is sometimes soul crushing, but sometimes it's amazing. This job's like doing heroin. You're always chasing after that one good scene.
Right.
And you don't get it that often. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and advertise this podcast, this amazing podcast that you have coming up. Of course, you're having a feature tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So my cooking show is Cooking with Nathan. You can find it on YouTube, X videos, Pornhub, but it's like you want the full thing, it's there. We're also right now live streaming on Twitch. So if you go to my Instagram or Twitter, you'll usually see a thing pop up that will say, hey, come check out my live stream on Twitch. So you get to see the whole show. And that'll be on tomorrow at, they're going to get here at 1, so probably 1:30. But in general, what?
Pacific time.
1 o'clock Pacific time. But yeah, if you just want to check out the show, go to YouTube, Cooking with Nathan. It's fun. It's been my pride and joy for a long time because I put a lot of money into it and gotten nothing back. So lots of money getting dumped into this stupid show. 3 cameras, a camera guy, a guy who edits as we go, a fucking assistant that helps promote it. It's like, and I pay for all the food and pay for all the kitchen and all the camera gear and everything. It's like, it's a fucking money pit and a half, but it's, it's fun. I get to talk to people. So
yeah, and you're great at it. I've seen some of the episodes, and I didn't know about it until I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and then I was like, where the fuck have I been? So yeah, now I know. Now I can enjoy it. What?
I was like, I hope you do enjoy.
Oh, thank you. I do. It was one of those things where I always enjoy whenever people are doing stuff like that, like podcasts or kind of behind the scenes stuff. And to me, that's kind of behind the scenes stuff. You know what I mean?
It definitely is, because it shows people in a different light than ever. Like we're going to have a director come on tomorrow from Atomic, and her guy are going to talk a little bit, probably mostly her. But that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to try to get another performer on later or tomorrow, just so I can double in there, because I'm going to take 2 weeks off here in the future. And so it's like just trying to build up the content, as you know. So
yeah. Well, I will let you get to your day. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Forbidden Depths. Again, remember to hop on over to Twitter. Conveniently, everything you need to know about Nathan is in his bio. Like, you can send him amazing stuff to his PO box. You can go to nathanbronson.org. And of course, all the lovely links that are available too. If you want to see them.
Yeah, please do, guys. nathanbronson.org will send you to all the shit. If you want all that juicy stuff, you want to see me do some weird shit, let me know. And then also stay tuned for the video that me and her are going to make fairly soon, apparently.
Yes. Camping trip.
Yeah. A very interesting camping trip.
Thank you guys again for joining us for another episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, it's Queen Frostbitten again, your host. I just want to remind you that you can follow us on YouTube at Forbidden Depths. That's FORBIDDENDEPTHS, or over on Twitter at the number 4 BIDDENDPTHS. podcast. Remember to always stay educated, consensual, and safe. We'll see you on the next show.